Okay, now we're going to prepare this file to render out just the house so we can bring it into Nuke and do further adjustments. Before I do that, let me do some quick adjustments to the lighting to try to get it to match better a little bit. For instance, we see the light here is a bit brighter than what we have here. So let me make this a little bit smaller here. Okay, maybe a little bit bigger. Okay, so I'm going to choose this light here. Let's see if we can, let's see, if we raise the intensity. Okay, so by raising intensity we can see that this gets a little brighter, and the sky here, so we're going to try to match it somewhat close to the sky as much as possible. Okay, so earlier it was a little bit too dark, and okay, that should be about good. Now in the professional world, you would take an HDR image of the environment and light this, but we don't have that luxury. Okay, I can probably go over in another tutorial on how to capture your environment and create an HDR light, a map to light the scene. Okay, and now here's our skylight. Generally you don't want to mess with this too much. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, that might be a little bit too bright. I think there's a bit of an overcast that day. Okay, I think this might be a little too bright now. So we go back and forth and adjust this up and down until we get a good balance here. So I'm lowering my distant light here. Okay. Also with the shadows in here a little bit grainy, so, and that's the secondary light bouncing in. Let me see if this will help here. Samples here. Okay, we'll probably set that in the not in the active shade, but in the production render, set at a better quality. Okay, so it's matching a little bit better. As you can see, when we increase the sample, the inside grain here is a bit better, but it's taking a lot longer to render. Okay. And there's a little bit of magenta red here in the gamma. We can adjust that in Nuke. Okay, so I think I'll just go ahead and use this for now. And okay, let's change it back to the production renderer. Make sure R node is selected. Okay, active segments, and remember to change it to 1280 by 720. Now here's where it's going to be different. Earlier I rendered out an MOV. For our final file we're going to render out an EXR, so I'm going to click on files here, and under renders I'm just going to create another one, the EXR sequence. Okay, and here let's call this my, we can name it pretty much anything we want, but I'm going to call this my 3D element. Okay, and then we're going to do an underscore dot EXR. Okay, press enter. Okay, and it should give us another window, but it's this MOV one. I'm going to click OK here. That shouldn't have happened. It's supposed to change it to EXR, and if it doesn't, we can change it into here. So click here, change to EXR, open EXR, okay, and click on save, and we should get another window that pops up and automatically remove renders. So in another tutorial, I'm going to show you how to add in render elements, and that's through the AOV settings here. Generally, we want to do a Z depth for distance, for depth of field, maybe an ambient occlusion so we can get extra shadows or ambient occlusion pass, but I'll explain that in another tutorial as a supplement. But for at the very basics, we're just going to leave it at this and render it out and bring it into Nuke and do adjustments, so that way I don't muddy up the process. Okay, so this is the very basic bare bones process, and I'm going to click on render. Okay, oh, it's pretty small. Okay, something's wrong. I thought I set it. Let me cancel this. I thought I set it to, okay, I must have accidentally. Okay, I get HGTV and 1280 by 720, and let's click on render. Okay, and again we can open up our renders here, and we can see our EXR being written out. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, I will have to cancel this. I'm going to turn off my background here, okay? It renders faster, and besides, this background is going to be in Nuke already. So I'm going to press 8, turn this off, okay? And then, okay, now I can resume rendering again, and you will see that it just renders black, and it will render a lot faster. Okay, this is rendering my material, my matte shadow here, so that's not supposed to happen. If I click on this alpha channel here, then it won't appear. Okay, so what's important is I check my alpha channel for this black and white image, and that's how I know that I'm doing it correctly. Okay, so in the next video I will show you the process of bringing it into Nuke and setting up a basic render.